What is going on, YouTube? So we're coming into 2024 here pretty soon, and a lot of people always ask me, what is good stuff to start collecting on? And the time of year and also the generation that's currently around usually dictates what is best to collect for. So in this video today, I just kind of want to talk about something that is not necessarily common knowledge, but it's very well known among a bunch of collectors. So essentially right now I say that one of the best consoles to probably start collecting for at the end of 2023 and into 2024 is the PlayStation 4. Now the only reason I say that too is because a lot of times with the generation before of the current one, the pricing on the games and stuff really starts to drop off. And not only that, the console itself is really dropping off because a lot of times people are selling their older console to try and get the new one. For example, when I purchased my PS5, I sold my PS4 and some of the games so that way I had money to go towards getting a PS5. And in general, that's what a lot of people do, guys. So first we're going to dive into looking at some prices of PS4s to give you guys kind of an idea how much they cost. And we're going to use, of course, my friend on here, price charting, is what I use for a lot of my pricing and everything with that. So we're going to first look at the pricing of what a PS4 would cost you. And then I'm going to go into talking a little bit more about why this is good to collect for now. So we're going to go ahead and pull this up. And we'll switch over to, there we go. Alright, so we got a little me in the corner here. So if you're not familiar with price charting, it is a very well site that I love it. You can look up retro games, you can look up, I think, comics, trading cards, coins, I guess, nowadays. I did not know about that, but you can also look up like strategy guides and stuff like that to see what they're selling for on like eBay, Amazon, and stuff like that. So I've already pre-searched for PlayStation 4, and so we're going to look at some of these pricing on here to give you kind of a general idea of what you're going to pay if you don't have a PS4 to begin with. Now obviously if you already have a PlayStation 4, you can bypass this all and just skip to the points later on where we talk about why it's a good idea to start grabbing the games now. But right now, I mean, honestly, it is not that much, guys, for a PlayStation 4. You're still going to pay about $400 to $500 for a PS5, maybe down to $300 or so now, depending on the digital ones. I haven't checked those prices lately. But it is really, really cheap to get a PS4. Now, recently I picked up a PS4 for my youngest son, Anakin. He's 6 years old, and he kind of wanted a more modern console, so we went that route. So I paid at more of a retail setting used at my local mom-and-pop store, XL Gaming. I paid, I think it was $160 or $175 for the PS4 Slim 1TB. So we can see that right here. Looks like the loose price, which is usually just the basics. It comes with the controller, the cords, the console, and that's all. Looks like it's selling for around $121 online. So if we pull that up, we can just get kind of a look at it. So, yeah, on the couple on the 22nd, couple on the 21st, ranging from 125 to 112, 157, 125, even one for 77. Now, what this does, the only downside to this though, is it doesn't tell you if it has anything else associated with it. Like sometimes, let's see. I bet if we look at maybe this one, it might come with games. So if we load up eBay quick here. That was something else. So that it didn't load it up right. So let's pull up this one and see if it kind of shows it too. So, we can look at the original listing right here. So this is what sold. So for $125, it only had one bid. Obviously the shipping's probably going to be about $15-20. But yeah, it's your very basic 1TB console. Comes with a charging cord and a power cord, which is okay. I mean, HDMI cords are so cheap nowadays, you don't need to do it. But there you go, guys, right here. Somebody just picked this up off eBay for $125. Now, one of the other big things, too, is that we know that all these consoles nowadays have different variations. I personally am drawn to like the Spider-Man one. I think my buddy had the Uncharted one, which is really cool. You can see that down here. So some of those variations are going to be cheaper too, or they might even be more depending on how rare they are. But here we can see kind of like the original PlayStation 4 style at 500 gigabytes. selling for as cheap as 80 bucks on average, which is cheap, guys. I mean, the PS4 is not out and about, or out of the console run going. I know a lot of people are really focusing on the new gen, so we have, like, you know, the Switch OLED LD, the PS5, the Xbox Series X, and I might do a video too talking about about how I think you should start collecting for the Xbox One as well. But the PlayStation 4 is still a powerhouse, guys. We still play a bunch of great games on it. Like I said, I have the PS5, and a lot of times I play my PS4 games on it. So I play like Dark Souls, God of War, and everything like that, because it's still, no matter what, the PS4 games are great. Plus it has the exclusives too, like Spider-Man and Miles Morales are probably some of the funnest games I've ever played, and they're on there. So that's really cool. So I mean, there's all these different variations of these PS4s you can get. Now this is the other PS4 that is the slim copy, which obviously is running about $145. So that's give or take too. But here's the PS4. Even the PS4 Pros, guys, are not, and they run a lot better, and they're a little bit more smoother, and they're a better console themselves too. But here we have a PlayStation 4 Pro 1 terabyte for 163 bucks. And here's the Spider-Man one I was talking about. It's a PS4 Pro one. This was what I was originally looking before I finally found a PS5. I was not going to pay a scalper the prices they were looking. So at one point I was almost considering just getting a PS4 Pro. So there you see it on price charting. You can spend anywhere from probably 100 to 170 bucks on getting a PS4 if you do not have one yet. So logically, why should you collect for the PS4 right now? So as a lot of people know, once the newer consoles come out, you have the older consoles just kind of sitting there in limbo. We are currently still putting out PS4 games. We are currently still putting out Xbox One games. But a lot of times the focus is more going towards the current generations, especially now since they've been out for a few years. So what does that mean for the PS4 games and stuff? They're getting cheap as heck, guys. I can't emphasize enough. And not only that, they are starting to pop up more in thrift stores. They're starting to pop up in Goodwills. They're starting to pop up on Facebook Marketplace. There isn't a day that doesn't go by that sometimes my Facebook Marketplace doesn't flag PS4, Xbox One games. And they are, you know, honestly selling these games for anywhere from $5 to $10 a piece, and that's it. I mean, that right there tells you guys that if you want to start building a decent collection for these, you don't have to invest a ton of money in them. The games are going to be cheap themselves. I could go on to show you guys proof here, but I don't want it to just start pulling up all these things, because you guys can obviously see these prices. Like I said, I've actually, you know, like even people just giving them what, I know it's rare, but there is an opportunity that people will just give these away too. I've recently gotten a bag full of PS4 games because the guy does not even play them anymore, and they're just sitting there collecting dust. So a lot of times that's what you guys can run into too. So that, I mean, that is really like the big thing of why I always suggest, if you're going to get into collecting and you don't have like a specific goal in mind and you just want to collect to start, or even just get some cheap games, always get the games for the consoles one generation before. And also, one, I'm going to say this too, is there's already talks of the PS5 Pro coming out. There's talks of the Nintendo Switch 2, rumors I should say, of that popping up. So what does that mean for these games too? It means they're just going to go down even lower in price. Honestly, the only console that I've seen that's last generation that kind of spiked up was the Wii U. And we all know how Nintendo games and stuff like that usually hold the value. But at one point when the Nintendo Switch originally came out, we were seeing Wii U games at an all-time low. Like, they were like selling. GameStop was having deals like buy one get one free, buy two get one free, stuff like that, and they were really marking the prices down. But now we know how that went. The Wii U prices are actually starting to go up now. But you do kind of, I find that with the Nintendo, or I find that with the PlayStation and the Microsoft games with Xbox, they kind of never really hold on to their value too much, because I think of how mass-produced they are. I know a lot more people with Xbox and PlayStations than I honestly do with Switch. Now, that's not to say that a lot of people don't have Switches, because we've seen it. They have one of the highest-selling consoles on the market. but I'm just saying that it seems like the Nintendo and the PlayStation value really drops off. So you guys don't have to run out there and rush and start grabbing these games. They will, for PS4 and stuff, stay lower down. I'm just suggesting that as one of the consoles, if I was going to start collecting and I was on a budget and I just wanted to get a mass amount of games, I would start looking into collecting for the PS4 right now, and especially going into 2024 with these newer consoles being announced. These games are going to drop off in price heavily, and I think it's just a smart idea to do. I always suggest that with anything else too. I'm hoping to down the road show you guys a video suggesting the games that you have to get. But if you are a Microsoft fanboy and you're looking to branch out and actually experience the Sony, the amazing games that Sony produces, pick yourself up a PS4. And the two games that I always recommend right off the bat getting is Spider-Man and God of War. And you don't have to play the older God of Wars, I mean the newer God of Wars. They are amazing games, and I definitely recommend you guys play them. It really is what won me over, because I was a Microsoft fanboy for the longest time, and I finally matured. I finally grew up and started branching out to the other consoles, and when I finally got a PS4 and I popped Spider-Man in and God of War, I was glued, guys. So with that being said, as always, stay retro, my friends, and I thank you so much for watching this video today. We will see you in the next one. Pick yourself up a PS4, guys.